So I'm Henry Mintzberg from McGill University, and I don't know what everybody's talking about with this traffic problem because I walked over from a building nearby and there's no traffic problem on the McGill campus, which I'm perfectly happy about. 7 minutes on energy. This could take the wind out of my sails, and it could bring a cloud over our sunny days. We decided that since I know nothing about carbon energy, that I would talk about human energy, and I prepared a whole talk about it. But as I listened, I decided I really have to do something different. And so I'm going to talk about kind of something a bit different, which I talk about a lot, but which concerns me very deeply. I am not here to talk about how business is going to solve the problem of climate change, because I think the problem of climate change has been significantly caused by the imbalance in society between business and government and what I call the plural sector or civil society. I think, and we've heard some wonderful comments about this, I think business has wonderful things to contribute to alleviating the problem we face. I think markets can be wonderful in their place, and they do have a place. I think that pricing can be important, but I think we need to step back and look at what's going on in the world today and what's going on with regard to climate change. If one word is needed to describe what business does in society today, it's more. Business produces more things, more energy, more uses of energy, more need for energy, more. And at some point, we have to step back and say, when do we look at what's going on and say we can't afford more anymore? We've got to look at what's going on in the world today. I see the world in three sectors. As I mentioned, there's a public sector. We heard a bit about that. We heard about China. We heard about the Aboriginal communities in the East. We heard an awful lot about business and some wonderful and what sound like very effective initiatives. We heard almost nothing, little bits, about the plural sector, about civil society. And a society that's out of balance is a society that creates the problems we're facing today. The imbalance today is that business has become far too powerful compared to the other two sectors. The communist states of Eastern Europe did not collapse because capitalism triumphed. They collapsed under their own weight because they were out of balance, utterly on the side of public sector interests in the Eastern European countries. We have now, because of our belief that capitalism triumphed, which did not triumph at all, we have gone completely the other way and are heading more and more the other way, and faced with potentially the worst catastrophe we've ever seen, we think business is going to solve this problem too. Business has to contribute to the solution of this problem. Government has to contribute to the solution of this problem. The plural sector has to contribute to a wake-up call that says this problem goes beyond business. This problem is caused largely by how we've been living. And I didn't hear hardly anything about that except some complaining about the fact that we're flying around in airplanes and creating lots of warming problems, which of course is true. But I didn't hear anything about stepping back and saying, this is a broad, major, fundamental problem, and we're not prepared to face it. We need to face what's going on in the world today, and we need to face the imbalance that's going on in the world today. We sit and listen to what's happening in the United States, and we hear a guy who is the cause who was the epitome of what the problem is in the United States, convincing people that he's going to solve the problem. And it strikes me a little bit like that. I wouldn't say business is the epitome of the problem, because I do agree that we're all the problem. Everyone in this room, everybody who flies, everybody who drives a car, everybody who uses a washing machine, we're all part of that problem. But we don't want to step back and look at the role of government, at the role of business, at the role of civil society or the plural sector in facing the problem of climate change. And I heard almost nothing today on that. I think we need to wake up. Thank you.